Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Picnic Table Chat Show. I think I sorted out the microphone and everything already, so you should be able to hear me just fine. This is season 10, episode 11, and it feels like, again, it's been ages since I've been here speaking to you. Good evening, antisocial buddy. It feels like I've been ages from speaking to you guys again, and what else can I say? I've been absolutely hectic. And to be honest, I'm still not that well. My chest has been an absolute nightmare. That chest infection's definitely still lingering in the background, you know. You'll probably hear it in my breathing tonight. In fact, I need to cough right now. I'm holding it in. Hold on. Oh, yeah. But we are good. We are rolling full steam because it is a busy time of year for me. So let's crack on with tonight. What we're going to talk about tonight? Oh, first thing we're going to talk about tonight is what's on screen. If you don't recognise these ants, because it's kind of hard to tell at this, I suppose it's quite far out. We'll zoom in a minute and have a proper little look. These are my colony of Nicos, Camponotus nicobarensis. We do have them on the website at the minute. We've got single queens with workers, single queens on their own, and double queens on the website. I don't think any of the double queens have workers yet. But they are there on the website if you're interested. They are absolutely awesome, and as you can see, they grow really, really well. This colony is a couple of years old now, and I can't tell you how many there is. There's hundreds, if not thousands by now, you know. Loads of majors, loads of little workers. In fact, the majors just come along to the end of the tube there now, walking over all the pupa. So we've been saying they've needed an expansion for a while, and instead of just giving them a little expansion next to their nest, I thought I'll go all out and I'll put tubes all around my office. So this is one of the two long tubes I've done from their nest. This goes up from their nest all the way across the ceiling, like across the entire room, in like a little bit of a snaky motion. Good evening, buddy. A little bit of a snaky motion, and then it comes down the other side here, against this wall, and then it goes into an outworld on the shelves. And then in the other direction, we've got a tube coming out of the nest going along the wall, and then on top of the dive tank, which is the other side of the room, I've got another outworld which I'm using for like liquid foods, and this one I tend to do the protein feeds and things like that in. It's very, very cool to have like ants running around my head all the time. Like the amount of time I spend in my office, I needed something a little bit like entertaining that's not looking at the screen. Good evening, Jack. So, you know, when I need 5 minutes break from the screen now, I just sit here and look up, and it's really cool. And so, yes, so you can see they've moved a load of their pupa into this tube. This is probably about, I'd like to say more than 2/3, but I won't say 3/4 yet. There's quite a few. There's other little patches along the tube. This one goes on quite a, you know, there's a substantial amount here, but there are a couple of other little patches of pupa around the tube, and even still some in the nesting area. And these are just pupa. There's not really any larva or pupa there. Not pupa, larva or eggs, sorry. So there. God knows how many we're going to have at the end of these. Obviously, pupa only take about 4 weeks to actually hatch out. So within a month or so, these will all be hatched and probably replaced by the next set of pupa coming up. They tended to like move it all overnight. So we did this about 8, 9 o'clock in the evening. And literally, right, so we attached the tube, and I had some people here at the time. And I said to them, give it half an hour, they might start venturing down. Let's do it now. And literally by the time I attached that first tube, they were already running through, and I couldn't get across to the other side of the room before they were. They were just plowing on it. It was amazing. So it was really cool and exciting. And then they, yeah, like I say, overnight they tended to move a couple, and then the next day they were running about, and it was really cool watching. And then the next night they moved this whole lot up here, and they've just sort of been doing their thing. They are constantly running back and forth between the tubes. There's probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'd say probably 15 foot of tube here. So they're going, like, not exactly. It might be less or more. I don't know. I'm really bad at, like, kind of working it out. But there's a long tube, you know what I mean? And it literally, yeah, it's busy all the way, which is really cool. Nice long foraging trail. But, it's mainly for my own enjoyment, this one. Yeah. It's cool being able to sit in the office and just be surrounded by ants, because that's the whole point of this room, be surrounded by ants. And like, I'm literally surrounded by ants on every angle now. To this side, I've got my leaf cutters. Behind me, I've got trap jaws. I've got my polyrachus dives in that corner. I've got Nico's above my head, Camponotus over there. What we got? We got Messer over there. My diversa colony behind me. Tetramonium over there, another dive colony over there, another dive colony over there. I'm completely surrounded by ants, and there is my little Evie. Good. Yep. Daddy's working, Evie. Daddy's on the stream. You gonna say hello?
And come on, a shot with me.
So, just for reference, she could hardly talk like 2 years ago. She's classed as non-verbal autistic, so it is really cool to come in and talk occasionally. Do you have any advice for the ants that won't leave the test tube? Tried high heat, high light, and all of that. Right. So, what species is it, Jack? Is it Lasius by any chance? Is it another species? Because if it's Lasius, they can be an absolute nightmare to try and move. So I'm blocking the office door. There we go. No more interruptions. Right. What species are they, buddy? Yeah, Lasius. That's what I thought. It's quite often the way, because Lasius are so hardy and like they're not bothered about vibrations and light and all the normal things that we would use to get them to move from the test tube. In fact, they'll quite happily live in a dry test tube that's covered in mold and exposed to the light, and just the awful worst. Happily sit there and do nothing, even though you can offer them a fresh tube right in front. So my solution tends to be not to worry too much in trying to get them to move to another tube, but to offer them the resources that they require. And with that, I would always advise a tubs and tubes. You can do it very simply, very cheaply. Just get like a simple lunchbox or a Chinese takeaway container. Put a barrier around the outside. If you haven't got a barrier, just use cooking oil for now. It doesn't last very long, but it will work. Lasius can be a little bit amazing at climbing, so just keep an eye on it. And yeah, put in your 2 test tubes next to each other, blue tack them down or whatever. I wouldn't put in any substrate because they'll start to dig, especially being Lasius. They're so small. They will dig pretty much regardless of how little substrate you put in. So I would blue tack the test tubes down and just probably leave them both covered. You know what I mean? So that they're both dark. Then, like, their old test tube, although it will be dry and moldy and whatnot, it's not a completely hostile environment to them yet. Like, if the mold was causing fungus and spores and things, they would probably leave on their own accord. Most black mold, you don't need to worry about too much. It looks bad and it can be bad if it gets really out of control, but generally black mold isn't too bad. It's the lack of water that's going to be the issue. So if you offer them the second test tube next to it, the likeliness is probably during the night or maybe during the day, but being a small colony, they'll tend to stay to like the shadow and do it when you're not really noticing. They will go into the other tube and they'll collect water and they'll bring it back to the colony and hydrate the brood and everyone else that way. So, that tends to be how they do it in the wild. They'll go out and find water resources and bring that back to the colony, rather than having a ready source of water in the nest all the time, So that would be my advice. Go for tubs and tubes, because, like I say, they can just be a nightmare to try and move. I would try and abandon the moving, but give them those resources that they still require. Does that make sense? Yeah, yellow mold is really bad. If it's yellow, that's going to turn like fungus. It's going to spread onto them. You basically got like, I don't want to say a doomed colony because it's not quite a doomed colony, but if you get yellow mold, it's not a good prognosis, I think is the word. And no problem, Jack, anytime, buddy. If it doesn't work, like obviously it can take time, like that you won't even notice that they come in and drinking and stuff, but like they probably won't move. They might in like 6 months, but don't worry about it. You know what I mean? If you've got any concerns at all, give me a message either on the website or on Facebook or anything, email. I'm always about, and if I'm not about at that exact time, I tend to check my emails like 6, 7, even 20 times a day. You know what I mean? If I just sat here for 5 minutes, I just flick through and update all my emails, make sure I'm sort of up to date. So yeah, send me a message anytime you're worried or got things on your mind about it. But yeah, they like Lacius, because they're so hardy as well. They're not gonna. Good evening, Evie. Hooray! Daddy's on stream, darling. You take it to mummy. Good girl. Yeah, no problem at all, buddy. If he is not about, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Marcus. That's actually really helpful. It's something I always forget to mention is I'm not the only one. Like, although I am always about, and I always try and make myself accessible, we do have some really, really awesome and knowledgeable people in the community, and like they are always happy to help as well. So thank you for that, Marcus. Like, you know me, I just kind of take it all on and say I'll do it all. So what else are we going to talk about? The Nicos are doing this. Should we zoom into them quickly and have a quick look? Like, I tried changing the lighting situation, but it just made it reflect and it was just rubbish. Amazingly well, Marcus. Like, you've done so well. Like, how many colonies did you keep alive? You've done really well for your first year. Like, and you learned. That's the main thing. You learned and listened, which a lot of people, they listen, but they don't actually listen, if you know what I mean. Whereas everything I said, you took it on board and you went and acted on it. Stickers. God damn those stickers. Right, 2 seconds. 2 seconds, everyone. Right, what are we doing, darling? Okay, you go upstairs to mummy then. Good stuff. No idea what she wanted me for then. She just come in and then that was that. She just kind of went upstairs. I don't know. What is in a full computer? 8. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? It is funny how they build up so fast sometimes. Like you buy one and then you think, oh, I'll get another one, and then you see another one that's on sale at the same time, and you soon got 3, and then it just kind of there's 8 before you realise. Oh dear, there's that chest infection. Right, so it's obviously not sunny today. It's been a bit iffy actually today, but the sun is definitely on its way back. Spring is in full swing, which is just in time for my Weymouth event where I have the outside area for the first time ever. We'll talk about that in a minute, but thank goodness the sun's coming back. But it's absolutely awesome. I've been out today for a little walk, which to be honest, it's been nice to get out of the office. I saw a bit of wildlife, a few ants running about, which I haven't actually seen that many ants running about this year. It's very late in the year. They're not as active as I'd like to see them. I think it might just be a local thing. It has still been very cold on the island. I can't explain why, apart from the water must be cold at the moment. But starting to warm up today. I went out and didn't even need a hoodie or a coat or anything. It was amazing. And that is like the first time since last year, whenever the end of summer was, like October or whatever. First time since then that I've been able to go out without layers and layers and layers. Very active. Oh, wow, really? See, it's been really slow down here. Not like there's been wildlife about, but not in the quantities that I'd like to see it. You know what I mean? Not like I normally see it. It's normally everywhere, especially in my garden, where so I need to get out and do the garden again. Every year I look at it and I'm like, oh, I need to cut, but I don't want to cut because of the wildlife, and then like all the neighbours are cutting their grass, and then mine's like 2 or 3 foot tall. It was like, oh, okay, let's cut the grass. I've got quite a big garden now. It's a big job. Takes like a whole day, and taking a whole day off work for me is like almost impossible. Like I just can't do it. Like I can't bring myself to do it. I did it. We did it the other weekend. We took a day off because I was really unwell, and I ended up with like 5 A4 lists of jobs to do because of the backup and build up. It was just absolutely ridiculous. In fact, I've got like 7 at the minute because I'm still working off that backup, the backlog of things that I need to do. Oh well. Oh, so what are we doing? What are we doing? I have been busy, busier than busy, right? So all of our products, all the 3D printed range on the website at the moment is on a discount. You might notice, you might not. I don't know. If you've been on the website, it's on there anyways. So I've discounted all 3D printed items to I think 50%, and there's other deals on there as well. The reason we've done this is I've redesigned every single 3D printed product, every single one. And like, so I made these products when I was okay with a 3D printer. I was learning as I was going, and I was making some decent products. Everything functioned nicely, but I could have done better aesthetically, and like there was a few little niggles that annoyed me about them. So I've redesigned every single one, and we're going to be changing the filament from oh, my brain's gone all fuzzy. We're going to go to a PET G, basically. It's got better heat resistance, better water resistance. I don't think it's going to make a massive difference, but now you'll see when I release them, basically. I've done something that it might actually make a difference, having that extra bit of heat resistance and things like that. But we'll see. We've been testing some of them for a little while again, and we've again not had any kind of. That's the one. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. We're going from PLA to PETG. Let's say we've been testing the new products with the PETG, and we haven't really noticed a difference. But the new products do look very snazzy. They're a lot more kind of, I don't want to use the word chic because that's not the word, but like, you know what I mean? They're just a bit more appealing to look at, less square, I think is the word, but they are still quite square, but they just look nicer. I've just used, I'm a bit better at the 3D printing now. I'm better at designing, and I want to put that into my products, have it reflected in the stuff we provide. I want it to be the best that I can do. Streamlined. Thank you, Marcus. God, you're good at this tonight. We're going to put you on, what's that word? What's that game? The one with the letters, and it's not a Price is Right, is it? No, it's not that other one. I want to say Catchphrase. It's not that. We're going to put you on that game show. You know the one, because you're going to come out with that in a minute, and there you go. That's your winning prize thing. You win nothing. I don't know. You know the one I mean. God. There's all the memes where it comes out with like funny sentences and racist jokes. No, not Countdown, the other one. But Countdown would actually. You could do Countdown, I suppose. God, my brain is not with it. So, anyways, I've been doing the redesigns and whatnot, and so I've had to these last few weeks. I've been redesigning all the accessories and let's say getting rid of all those niggles and stuff like that. Making sure everything fits perfect, because that is the one thing that I've always struggled with, is sometimes things just don't fit how they should. You know what I mean? You can design it perfectly, but when you print it, it just doesn't quite work, and you've got to go back and change the design and print it again and try. Yeah, that's probably it, Marcus. Thank you. And what was it? We did the double tube connector that we designed the other day for a customer. I think it took about 7 attempts to get it perfect, because the first one, it was it worked, but it wasn't quite nice enough, if you know what I mean. And then it's the total, yeah, exactly. But it's just sometimes it just takes a couple of niggles to get the design perfect, if you know what I mean. No, or it could have been Catchphrase. I think it's catchphrase. No, it's not for. I don't know. It doesn't matter, Marcus. It's one of those. So yeah, we will be releasing all the new products after the Weymouth show. That like basically on a Monday, probably if I get it all done and uploaded in time. We want all the nice pictures and new descriptions, and we're basically going to we're going to not shut the website down because you'll still be able to get ants and stuff, but everything will be stripped down bare in the shop basically overnight whilst it's being used less, and all the new products will be uploaded, new bundle packages uploaded, food bundle packages, all the accessories, literally everything will be changed overnight, so that hopefully in the morning when you come to log on, you'll be like, whoa, what's happened here? And you'll be like, oh, I've got to have a look. That's the idea anyways. It does mean I'll stay up all night yet again, but it's got to be done sometimes. So for now we have a sale on of all the products that I have left printed already, because obviously we have a massive stock on the stock shelves of all the stuff that we've been printing already. So there's loads of nests and outworlds and accessories and feeders and tons of stuff, like tons. I can't even explain how much. So grab your deals. It's quite a few have gone out, not gone out, will be going out on Tuesday, but quite a lot of orders have come in. So stock levels are starting to go, and a few products have completely ran out now already. I think we're already out of tubs and tubes. We've redesigned the tubs and tubes, obviously. The new one, I like this one, but the new one's even better. Slightly bigger. I'm not going to go in and describe it all now because you know what this industry's like, quite frankly. And yeah, the new tubs and tubes is quite something to behold. I'm quite proud of it, and obviously it's one of my favorite products because again it solves that problem that we're all having, like how to move the bloody lacius out. But not just that, it is just it's a good enclosure. I always say you can go out and get a nice cheap one, like for literally pennies, and do it all for pennies. But if you want to go and get a snazzy one, we do have a snazzy looking tubs and tubes kit available. And yeah, like I say, the new one is really cool. Not that different, but you'll see the difference and you'll be, oh, I like that. Good ideas, good thinking. That's what I'm hoping anyways. Yeah, loads of discounts on the store, ants, accessories, all sorts of bits and bobs. Check it out, up to 50% on some of the items. And we'll be sending them out up until Wednesday. You can get the lives, and then I think we're only going to send out on Thursday because on Friday I am literally going to be hectic. It's always hectic before a show. We've got our big show on Saturday. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But on the Friday, obviously, I got to do my packing. I've got to load 60 tables out of a van into my house, into another van, which includes like a lot of stairs at the same time. It really sucks. We've got like boxes and boxes, and we've got all of this new gear as well. So having outside for the first time, I will read that in a second. Having outside for the first time, we've had to get all this new gear. We've got we've had to double our power supplies. We've had to get poles to make barriers and stuff. You know what I mean? And we need double the amount of walkie-talkies. We've got gazebos and what they call them, sack trolleys, and all sorts of extra equipment now, which is really cool. So when we started the show, I literally did our first show. I took a duffel bag with me on the train and 3 pieces of screwed up paper in my pocket. Now when I turn up to a show, we've got 2 vans. We've got 2 vans full of equipment and stuff like that. I've got files and files of paperwork, and it's just we're so much more organized and well equipped for it now. How far we've come in that, but this will be our second Weymouth show, so it's, you know what I mean, it's just boom. It's exciting times for us, very exciting times. You were looking at getting one for the puppy dogs in a test tube. Yeah, nice. But the size scares me. Think I am to Yeah. To be fair, it will be pickled. You stuff you don't. The figure will be pickled. You stuff you don't think about. That last comment confused me, Marcus. But yes, it's one of those, isn't it? I Your puppy dog in a test tube, that's a liggy, isn't it? I think it is. You always call it that, and I've got to try and remember which one it is. I think it's the liggy. It's all the little bits you do. Yeah, that's it. It's all the little bits. There's always when I'm running a show, right? I always say it, and everyone always says it. You don't realize how much goes into every one of these shows. Like I spend, and I say this lightly, I spend pretty much all day, every day behind the computer. I do take a bit of time off, and I do other jobs as well. I've got to feed the hands and like just do all my other stuff. But the amount of time and effort I dedicate into each show, how many hundreds, if not thousands, of emails I send, and like the logistics, like getting the staff there, planning the rotas, planning where everyone can part, like trying to organize a lot of things to happen overlapping each other, and like some of these people are traveling like a long way to the event, so you've got to organize their arrival and how that's going to happen, and time management of everyone, make sure that I'm ready in time for everyone else. There's a lot of bits and bobs and paperwork and risk assessments, and I'm not going to go through it all, don't worry. But there's a lot, and like it's really hard to sort of get that across how much like I've had to learn for one, but how much there is to do for each show. Like especially this one where we've got bouncy castles and entertainers, and we've got a pirate display, and they'll be doing sword fighting workshops for children. Stuff like that is quite labor intensive to organize. You know what I mean? And like be really on top of it. I know some event hosts, they'll just say, here's your pitch, thanks for the money, have a great show. But you know what I mean? I want to really go that extra mile and make sure that everything's sort of organized, everyone knows where they want to be. And I know that my show's gonna like run the way that it does in my head, because that's really what it's all about. It's like trying to get it like it can go wrong really easy. If one thing starts to go wrong, everything will start to go wrong super fast if you let it get out of control. You know what I mean? So it's being able to like be on top of anything that does arise, because something will always go wrong. Something will always happen, and it's that management of it. And yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling a little bit there, but it's a lot goes into it, and like the amount of like sleepless, I haven't slept properly for at least a month, at least, and that's not just down to my bad chest at the minute. That is stress. I'm losing my hair. Oh my god! So like the back of my head, I put my fingers through the back of my head, and the hair's not too bad, and then I do it on top. I'm like, oh my god, where's it gone? And I'm not going bald yet. You can't quite see it, but I'm definitely thinning. And it's just the stress of running it all. But I absolutely love it. So obviously I've opened up a whole new company just doing events. So now I run 3 companies. I've got my Ants on a Rock company doing all the ant stuff and the ant events. The Weymouth event is going to move over to the new website and the new company, because the Weymouth event although it has got ants and inverts there, it's not just an ant show. It's like a family day, you know what I mean? So I'm going to take that one off the ant website and have it on the new website, because that just seems to make more sense. But I'm going to keep the strictly ant shows, the Bristol and the Sheffield one, on the ant website forever. You know, and yeah, so we're going to start doing lots more events. I've got like 15 events I'm working on or something like that. We've got all sorts of types of events, from everything from music festivals and drama shows, craft fairs, and everything in between. I'm not going to give away all my ideas, of course, but yeah, that's super exciting. I'm in constant meetings with venues and emails with venues and emails with different people and services. Thing is, I've got a contact book with like thousands of traders and services that I can pretty much call on to attend, if they want to. I can't force them. I've got enough to give me good variety and choice at pretty much any event that I want to host now. So, I'm taking advantage of that and making a sort of move on the market, and it seems to be going really well. Might have some big news for you by this time next week, but I'm not going to divulge any of that yet. Let's read that comment. Just looked on the website. Think I need a test tube rack. Very handy as I've got for. Yeah, honestly, I use them myself. I've got 2 on the shelf, and so. The main thing I use them for is when I need to do like retubings, I'll fill the whole test tube rack with the empty tubes, and then I'll fill them all with water, and then I'll do the cotton balls, and it's just so much faster than having to pick them up one at a time, if you know what I mean. I know that's silly, but it really does save me a lot of time. When you retubing 10 ants or something, it does save a bit of time. Still no sticker aligned. No, I know. The second you go bold and turn it up No, I'm not going to go full cockerel mode, Marcus. Plunger, no, thank you. But I'm not going to go I might go bold, to be fair. We'll see what happens. I'm not that bothered. We'll see what happens. One thing about me, and this is very much true amongst everything you'll ever see from me, is aesthetics don't bother me. It's functionality. So, with my products, that first range, they all function. They all do exactly what they need to do, but they're not the prettiest. My website, when we first released that, it did what it needed to do. It wasn't that pretty. In fact, I got told it looked like a child put it together. So things like that, aesthetics just aren't a thing for me. In fact, my CV is quite extensive. You could say I've got quite a lot of things on my CV, but one of my bosses once told me to never put decorating a Christmas tree on my CV because I don't do aesthetics. It's just not something that's in my brain. I think it's my autism. I just don't, if it functions, it's fine. So it takes someone else to come in and say that actually looks like rubbish. You need to change that. And that's again what I've done with a few things. I can't even remember where I got onto this conversation. Oh wow. Yeah, no, that's it. So I'm not that bothered about going bold, really. I'll make it work, and I'm still me. I'm still the same person, still doing the same things, and hair's really not an issue. I might just shave it all off now and donate it to someone to make a wig for me. I don't know. Is that a thing? I'm probably not going to wear a wig. It's like my false teeth. I've got no teeth. I'm not bothered. I can eat, so I'm really not bothered. It's I've got false teeth. I don't wear them because I'm not bothered about looking pretty. So, going bold, I'll have no teeth and I'll still be stood there selling ants, chatting away. And, let's say I'm not that bothered about how I look. I am what I am. I'm quite comfortable with how I look. But I do the things that I like to do. And I live not a good life. I won't say I live a good life. I live a happy life. You know what I mean? I try and be happy, try and live the way I want to live. So I'm not that bothered about going bold. That was a bit of a ramble, wasn't it? Get some ants tattooed on my head. Now that's an idea, or my own logo or something. And everyone will be I'll wear a hat, and they'll be like, "So what do you do for work?" I'll be like, "Boom, that." Oh my God, that's dedication. If you could see the gestures I was making then, it was probably twice as amusing. But yeah, dedication. Yeah. Anywho, so we've actually got so many events and stuff that I'm working on at the minute. I actually went and I'm so old and adult. I got so excited. I'm still excited. I've got a year wall planner up on the wall. It shows me the whole year from the 1st of January all the way up to the 31st of December. That's a whole year. Want to get a QR code that takes you to the website? What, on my head? That's such a good idea. So we put them on the posters and stuff, but that is a really good idea. I know some people put it on their shirt, don't they? And like you'll be like, "What's that QR code?" And you do it, and then it takes you to a website. You're like, "Ha ha ha!" Advertising without you knowing. I don't know. So yeah, I've got a wall planner, and damn it, oh, Chris, you've only just got back. Oh man. Well, nice to have you back. Did you enjoy your walk at least? Is the sun going down? I expect it just was going down. It's just gone dark here, so you would be in private and people would scan your head to find out what it is. Oh, we gotta do that. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe a little one like on the back of my shoulder or something. Where have we got spare? I'll do it like. I'll find somewhere and we'll do a little QR code. I don't know because I don't know. We'll have to think about that one. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm a planner now, and it's very exciting. I've got events all over the place and dates all over the place, and I haven't even put birthdays or anything on. It's just work, and it's so exciting. I'm so sad. I get excited by wall planners and work, but yeah, should get the temporary tattoos done of it. Yes, okay, temporary tattoos. That's a good idea, Marcus. Because I was thinking like long term, I probably don't want a tattoo on my head. Um, it's just like when I'm in the meetings and stuff, it's kind of, they give me looks anyways because I turn up and I've kind of like got my scruffy hair and hole in my ear and I swear a lot. And they kind of give me looks, but when I turn up and I'm like doing everything I do, they can't really say no either way. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, you still got to try and give off a persona, I suppose. In some of these meetings, I do have to like, you have to use like certain words and terminology and honourable gentleman and all of this rubbish. You've got to be a certain type of person to sort of play the game. If that makes sense, you know what I mean. I could just do it, but like you'd find things just get harder. And it's just easier sometimes to play the game. But I think temporary tattoos, that might be a good idea, Marcus. Well done. So, yeah, Weymouth show is, 6 days away? 5 days if you don't count it. It's absolutely madness. Oh, we're pretty much ready and whatever. I've got a few last little niggles to prepare, as always. There's a few bits that basically you can't do till like the last week. Like preparing the boxes, because you should get a temporary town. It's called fun. I'm like, yeah, like packing the boxes because we had like I was at an event just last week and things like that. So we're constantly using these things. You know what I mean? So I do have the generalized packed, but there is still a lot of things to pack. A few last bits to organise. I still got to find a couple more volunteers. If anyone in the stream is coming along to the show and you feel like you want to help us set up on the day, I will be at the venue from 4 a.m. So you don't have to come that early, don't worry. But just give me a message like over the next few days and we can arrange for you to come and have a volunteer post if it's suitable. No stress. If not, I have got people I can call on locally, but I'd much rather use people that like are gonna not enjoy, but like be forthcoming to help, if you know what I mean, rather than me having to ask my local friends and stuff. And although they will do it and they're very reliable, I'd rather have people that want to come. I mean, most of my friends are coming as actual guests, so I could be like, "Well, you got to come like a few hours early to work." But I'd rather, you know what I mean. So yeah, there's that opportunity if anyone's coming. I don't know if anyone in the stream is coming because I expect it all quite far away. But yeah, so the Weymouth show, we have all sorts happening. Like I say, we have a few invert traders, myself. We have the I can never pronounce it, Philippides Palace, jumping spiders. I can't remember. We've got a few. I think Ants Dorset might be coming along if he can. It's not 100% yet, but we've got a few invert traders. I'm not going to go through them all. It's on the website. And then we've got lots of crafting traders, and we've got like game stalls. Obviously, my other business is going to be there. My third business, my sweet stall. My daughter runs for me. So I say it's my business. Like I own the business, but she runs it. She makes all the money from it. She's done really well so far, and she's expanding her stock faster than I ever did. Put it that way. And her website is probably better than my website was when it first launched because I took more time and effort. Like now I know how to build a website. It's far better than mine. So hey, I'll put a banner on. Hang on, because this wasn't pre-prepared at all. No, I have had this one on there for a few days now. But yeah, Kayla's Kay's Sweet Sanctuary, Kayla's Sweet Shop, basically. It's got like the pick and mix stuff, and you can choose your variety or just say pick for me, and we'll just do a mix out of the whole lot, basically. But the Infinity boxes is really what I think is going to be the best selling product there. They've gone really well so far. She picked the name, the Infinity boxes. They're basically like sleepover boxes, day out boxes, play date boxes, whatever you want to call them. You can get them from singles or up to like 6 people, and if you order more than that, we'll just send multiples, and it's like you get like a couple of drinks and a big bag of popcorn, some sweets and some chocolates and this and that, and that's all for like a tenner. So you get it cheaper than you would at the shops, and it's all in one convenient nice box, basically. Can't really go wrong with that. You have got to pay a postage charge, but say you're having a big sleepover, like we sometimes do for like birthday parties and stuff, your kids are having a big sleepover, get a few of these boxes in, you will actually be saving money as if you compared to if you went to the shop and bought them, like even with the postage charge, you know what I mean? So that's the point there, and yeah, I think they're going to go really well. They've done well so far, and she's really excited. It's nice to see her sort of flourishing and learning how to run a business. Like I've been doing it a little while now, and well, I've been doing it on and off for many years in different roles, but been running this business for a few years now, and it's good to be able to pass on a bit of wisdom to her and like set her up with something. Even if she doesn't stick at it, I'm sure then Amy would take it over. And even if she doesn't stick at it, I'll take it over myself. But it's nice to be able to give them something that I never really had myself. So yeah, they're going to be there. There's going to be the pirates displays, like say bouncy castles. There's a massive crafting area. I can't remember. There's all sorts, 3 face paints. There's loads of cool stuff happening. Most of this will be replicated at the Bristol event, which is an ant event. The whole inside is going to be ants and inverts. Like, whereas this one, we've got sort of a mix and history and all sorts of stuff. We've got displays from the No Fort. If you know the No Fort, we've got the local fort turning up for give some displays off and stuff like that, which is really cool. But so the Bristol event in August is an ant event. It's ants and inverts everywhere on the inside, and then you go into the outside area, and there'll be the food traders, there'll be the bouncy castle and the face painter, and the sort of the stuff to keep the kids entertained whilst the adults do their shopping. You know what I mean? So that's going to happen. Like I said, it's been weird because although Weymouth still has invert traders and stuff, it's not necessarily an invert or ant show, whereas the Bristol one has a lot. It's very hard to sort of break up the difference, but I know where I'm going with it, and by next year so will everyone else. And I say that because it only comes around once a year. But yeah, I'm super excited, as you can imagine, super busy, like redesigning with the products and doing the show and running all these different businesses and planning other shows at the same time. It's a bit hectic, dealing with my health, but it's all good. But I am super tired from it, and I managed to have a nap the other day for like 2 or 3 hours, and the problem is I haven't had like most of my medication for about a week or so. Haven't had the ones I take at night time anyways, and I tell you what, they're the ones that seem to make the biggest difference. The ones I take every morning make the biggest difference. There's like a group of 6 that I have to take every morning, and basically if I don't give it 2 or 3 days, then I'll be going to hospital. But this nighttime one, I generally always have a stock, and it's only really been lately that I've ran out, and I've gone a few nights without it, and I'm waking up feeling worse than when I go to sleep. And it really sucks. But I had a 2-hour nap the other day. I managed to find one tablet in an old strip, and I took it. And like, I didn't wake up feeling horrible. So that's definitely the key. I need to get some more of those. But it's bank holiday now. I went and got my. This is me moaning a little bit. Went and got my repeat prescription, as I always do every month. And for some reason, they didn't give me an inhaler or some of my medication because I had an emergency prescription of it halfway through the month. It was like, well, if that's an emergency prescription, you shouldn't really be counting that in my overall prescription. What, you know what I mean? So I'm actually completely without a blue inhaler at the minute, which is just ridiculous for someone with emphysema and everything else that I've got. But yeah, so I'm waiting for Tuesday, and I'm going to ring up the doctors and have a bit of a moan at them. I am quite known up there for my condition, so it's not like, you know, they don't know the seriousness of it. And in fact, last time this happened was the very last time I ended up in hospital, and I went into intensive care for a week. So it's not cool. I'm nowhere near that stage yet, obviously. I'm still here talking to you. And as my mum says, my shoulders aren't touching my ears yet. Because when your chest gets bad and you're struggling for breath, your shoulders start going up and like, yeah. And they're not at that stage yet. So we're all good. We're all good. I'm still sat here smiling and happy looking at my ants on the ceiling. And here's something, right? So. We were donated a TV the other day, and I've been somewhat unsure as where I want to put it. Like, one of my mates was cleaning out his house and like buying a new TV. He was like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll say." I'm not going to say no to a free TV. It's bigger than any TV I've got in the house already. So I've been thinking about it and thinking about it. I thought I might put it in the office. Now, hear me out, because I know that sounds crazy, but I probably won't because it's too big. But I will put it in my bedroom and move my bedroom TV into the office and hook up the Xbox. And then when I'm sat here and I need like half an hour's break or so, I can play the Xbox. And I can see, the problem with it is playing games on the computer. I can't see if emails and things do come in, and some of them I need to be like reactive. You know, I'm waiting for that email so I can email straight back, secure venue, whatever it is. So it, like, sometimes I'm sat here and I'm like, I want to have a break, and I'll have a half an hour break, but I can't do anything. I've just got to sit here and sort of watch the screen still. Whereas if I'm doing that, I can have half an hour to an hour on the Xbox whilst keeping the screen active next to me. So I'm going to be looking into doing that over the next few days. I think it's going to, like, you got to treat yourself, you know what I mean? When you're running like businesses like I am, working constantly, as you probably all know, because everyone's working as hard as me. I'm not doing anything special. Like, the world at the minute, if you want to survive, you got to work your butt off. That's just the way it is. And like, you got to look after yourself as well. You know what I mean? You got to treat yourself. Otherwise, your mental state will start to drop. I tell you, like, you'll get tired, you'll get depressed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not there. I'm a happy man. But you got to look after yourself. You cannot work constantly and drag yourself down. You know what I mean? You got to have a bit of positivity, something to look forward to on your breaks, and you know, keep motivated that way, can't we? Yeah, so I'm probably going to start Fallout again. I love the Fallout series, like, of games. I've been watching the series, as you know, on Amazon or whatever. It was Amazon, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was Amazon. I've probably watched it over 50 times now, the whole series. I'm really sad like that. Because I just put it on. Like, thing is, I start like at like 6 a.m. So if I put it on at like 7 or 8 or even 9 when the kids go to school, by like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, it's done. That's it, done. And I've sat here and watched the whole thing or been working whilst it's there. And I'm like, I'm at the point now I don't really need to watch it. I know what's happening on screen by just listening to it. You know what I mean? I do that with a lot of things, actually. As you might notice if you watch a lot of my streams. But yeah, it's just, I suppose that's my ADHD and whatnot. You get the dopamine from something you enjoy, so you do it over and over again. It's why people with ADHD often listen to the same song over and over and over and over and over again because of that dopamine release. So that's where that is. I'm watching it on repeat, basically. So I'll probably start the Fallout series again. Might go back to 3, then New Vegas, and then 4, like I did originally. I never played Fallout 1 or 2. I admit I should. I haven't played 76. I should. I probably will. But like I've never had online on Xbox before either. Like I never bothered putting it online. So yeah, that'll be a new experience being on 76. But I did Fallout 3, absolutely awesome game. Then I did New Vegas, obviously, and then Fallout 4 a bit more recently. Not recently, it was a good few years back, but that was the most recent one. All really good games. Now with the series, like everyone started playing it. 76 is not bad. Yeah, I've heard it's got a lot better, especially now more people are playing it. It's got a lot better, and they've just done that big update or something, haven't they? Like I've heard it's got better over the last month or so. So it's interesting. Definitely keep seeing where it's going to go. I like the fact they do like community events, if you know what I mean. I can't really think of any right now, but there'll be like the whole community has to do this sort of thing by a set time, and then you all get a perk or what. Like, I like that. That's pretty cool. And I say I probably will get on it if I can get the TV in it. Bear in mind, every wall is packed with enclosures up to the ceiling. Like you're literally where the camera is. You see that book? That is my high-tech security device keeping a tarantula in a tank. Yeah, aliens. There you go. Like, I did see that. I saw it might be in DLC actually. It was an alien invasion in Fallout 4. That was quite cool to watch. Like I've been sticking on video. Like if you're into Fallout lore and stuff like that, Oxhorn on YouTube is actually really good. There's a bit of controversy about him apparently. I can't even remember what it's about, but I couldn't give a monkey's about any of that and politics and all of that. I quite like the way he breaks down like everything. Like he'll go into the building and he'll show you what's in every room and why they're doing things, and he'll explain the lore behind it. So I quite enjoy his videos. So if I'm not watching or doing something or even listening to music, I quite often will just put on one of his videos, you know. Yeah, they're quite enjoyable. But yeah, right. So I think that is about all I'm gonna say here tonight, because I can hear my wife making my dinner, which is, I'm hungry. I am very hungry. It's been a little while since I've eaten. I've got a lot more work I'm going to do tonight. I will be about, if you want to message me, for the next God knows how many hours. If I stop answering, it might be that I'm put my phone on silent and tried to put on the Xbox. If I manage to sort the Xbox, I might be unreachable tonight. But feel free to message, and I will get back to you when I turn it off at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning and whatnot. Just make sure your phone's on silent, basically. If you send me a message, put it on silent, because it might be really late when I message you back. Message me at your own risk, I don't know. Dear oh dear. But yeah, tonight's been a fun stream. Thank you everyone for joining me. It's been absolutely brilliant. We've had some really good numbers in tonight as well. Quite a few people watching, a few people that don't come in all the time. So it's nice to see you all. I'm not going to promise to be here next Sunday, let's be honest, because that's the day after the show. And so I'm going to be there from 4 in the morning so that I can, because it's just a bit of a nightmare logistics wise. I need to get the tables into the air, so I'm going to be doing tables at 6 in the morning, or 4 in the morning, sorry, probably about 5 by the time I actually get around to doing it, because I'll have to set up the barriers and stuff first. But I've got a lot of stuff to like set up in the outside area, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning they allow me into the hall, which I have to have completely set up by 8 o'clock in the morning, which is by the time traders turn up. So it's going to be a busy day. busy all day, running a show, and then we got to pack down at the end. So it is going to be a long day. I'm not going to promise to be a Sunday. I might be asleep. I'll probably be asleep. If not asleep, I'll probably be resting, But I will try and be a Wednesday. We'll try and do a Wednesday stream, and then we'll try and do the Sunday after. So that's the best I can offer right now. But yes, I'm going to love you and need you. Massive thank you to everyone for signing in tonight. You're absolutely fantastic. Sitting there listening to me ramble on about absolutely nothing relevant at all. No, it's been great. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters and sponsors as well. And as always, I'll see you again soon, Amp fans. Good night and thank you.